Hi, my name is James Shepard, and today I want to share with you my favorite question to ask after the opening pitch. My favorite question to ask after the opening pitch. So one of the things that happens in sales is that you have this kind of small talk, then you get into kind of, your pitch, your presentation, and so you're giving them a little bit of information about whatever it is that you offer. And then you get to this awkward moment where you kind of need to transition into the sale, but the problem is that you really don't have anything to go on because they haven't told you anything, they haven't answered any questions, so you really don't know how interested they are. And this is especially true over the phone. I was doing some prospecting today on the phone, and it's very difficult because you don't have the facial reactions or body language to read, and so how do you really know where they're at? And so what I've learned to do is when I get to the end of kind of my value proposition, I ask them a question and I phrase it like this. I say, well, Mr. Jones, that's pretty much what I have to offer you. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you thought about whatever? And when I say, have you thought about, I make sure, excuse me, I was talking too much on the phone today. When you say, have you thought about, make sure that whatever you say next is something that they're going to have to say yes to, okay? And that'll give you all the feedback that you need. So for instance, I was pitching somebody today on a website, an e-commerce website. And I said to the gentleman I was talking to, I said, well, that's pretty much what we have to offer you. Let me ask you a question. Have you thought and you're like kind of considered putting more money into the e-commerce side of things? Now, I asked that question because I knew from the conversation that this was like their whole business was about this e-commerce. They have a website, they sell stuff. I mean, that's all they do. So when I asked them, is this something you've been considering seriously of, investing more into the e-commerce side? I mean, obviously he's going to say yes. Now, if he does say no to that, then I know that either my pitch was terrible or I know that they really are broke and they have no money to invest right now, and then I can move on to the next person. When I'm selling, credit card processing, for instance, and I give them the cost comparison, I might say something like, well, Susan, that's pretty much all I have for you today. I've got that proposal there. Let me ask you a question. Have you seriously considered trying to find ways to cut costs? So asking a question like that, have you seriously considered finding ways to cut costs? Like, who hasn't, right? So of course she's going to say, yeah, I of course, we're always looking for ways to save money. Great. Well, this is a surefire way right here. Now let me just take some notes down real quick, and I'm going to get my paperwork out and I'm going to start writing. Why? Because I just made the sale. So it's a great question to ask. So think about after your opening pitch, you want to say, I have a question for you. Have you seriously considered or thought about whatever, and make sure whatever the next thing is that you say, it's something that is kind of obvious, and if they say yes to it, it's something where you can then move forward with the sales process. That's my favorite question to ask after the opening, after kind of the presentation stage, so you can move into the close. My name is James Shepard. Thanks for watching and listening.